What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to finally dive into the YODA build. I've already been kind of tinkering with it, but this is obviously, like I said, this is an RROD Falcon board. This was actually the original eyeball 360. It's been reflowed several times. It still has red ring, but we're using it for testing purposes, just like this one over here we're using to test fit stuff for the Vader build. But today we're actually going to start taking this apart, taking a look at the inside, see what's going on there. We're also going to start doing some modifications to our metal frame. Now I'll probably just do that to this frame. It's the same one that would be on this one. So basically we need to cut out sections out of the top here where we're going to put fans for an extra exhaust. We might cut a little bit back here just for the heck of it. Figure out something for this side. I don't know if I want it just blocked off or if we'll just leave it open so some air can still fly out there, but I do want this fan to be closer to the bottom here, basically directly over the two heat sinks. So anyway, so I've already taken a DVD drive cable, cut all the extra wires off, and all we have are the positive and negative 12 volts and positive and negative 5 volts, and we have that spliced into this SATA cable here, which powers the fan controller. So we're going to have it all the way down at first. Fire this up. Now, like I said, it has red ring, so after like 10 seconds it's going to automatically shut itself off, but you see this is powered now. It's all the way off. Slowly crank them up. That's all the way up, and you can kind of keep it down until it's pretty much quiet, and then it just shut off, like I said, because of the red ring. But there we go. So I'm debating with this top fan though if I should just leave it on 12 volts. It doesn't seem to want to do anything under about 7. It'll just shut off completely. But at that rate, these fans are starting to get noisy. So really the controller's mainly for these fans. I always hook these up to 5 volts because they're pretty much quiet or silent. Anything above that, you can hear them kind of droning. So the reason I got this controller though with all these plugins is so I could put all these fans, this one and even the factory fan. But I may have it so that this one is just hooked up to the standard 5 volts. It'll actually be this one. This is the green one. The blue one's in there now. I gotta swap it out. But and then these, you could technically have it all the way off if you wanted. You'll still have this one acting as the factory fan, pulling the air out. And then you can turn these on to add extra lighting and airflow. And obviously, I'm very curious to see temperature display, especially once you've been gaming. Then you crank this all the way up to see how quickly it'll drop down. But that's where we're at now, so I'm going to take the rest of this board out of this metal frame. We're going to mark off these fans along here, and we'll be able to use some of these existing holes to hopefully mount the fans. But like this section here, we want to cut out, because that's exactly where one of the fans will go. Excuse my giant scab on my hand from work. And then, like I said, we'll probably just do 3. If I do a 4th one over here, it's going to block access to this bolt to hold the top of the shell on. And since we're already going to be losing this one and possibly this one because of the fan, I still want to keep the 2 end ones there and the 2 end ones on this side. But yeah, that's the plan for now. So let's get this out and start cutting stuff. Fan controller seems to work great. I now need to take the board off of here, those 2 screws. Pull the knob off, and we need to trim this a little bit, both ends. We want to paint it also. Black isn't really going to match with the face, I guess it sort of will, but we'll probably just paint it green or brown, one of the other colors I have. Then we need to mark off this part of it for the fan, and I am waiting. I think I want to do the both copper heat sinks, so I will have to kind of wait on that. But obviously we're not going to put that on this board anyway. That's something I got to do with that one. So let's get going. Okay, so a couple more things. This clear fan shroud has the white LEDs, and it actually has this whole extra surface over here and all these circuit boards. And I was gonna just put this one in the ruby red shell and put the one that's in there, which is like a regular fan shroud, just with wires and LEDs on the end. Put that one in here, but I think I can use this shelf to kind of put this LED on here. And as I explained in the previous video, I just cut the wires off and we got it directly wired into a 3-pin, and we can also plug that into the fan controller. This pretty much just turns on at like 5 volts, and then it doesn't get any brighter after that, but we'll hook that up to it. I think we'll keep this one. I would just take like the boards off, but I think the white LEDs will be fine. We could probably also, this one's wired into like a DVD drive cable. That doesn't really fit that nicely, but we'll just cut these wires off once again and wire that into probably this as well. And then, like I said, this fan here will just be plugged in to the normal, so that'll just be on 5 volts all the time, and then everything else will be on the switch. These LEDs, all the fans here. Now these fans, it looks like this one that's going to be over here pretty much lines up perfectly with this hole in there, so we'll leave that and just kind of cut a little bit of this middle part out. This next one I need to mark right here the 4 bolt holes, and then just cut the whole center section out. And then this side, same thing. It looks like it might line up with this one first hole. And over here, there's kind of a capacitor right here, but I think we can get that to fit. And then we'll cut this out right here. And then we need to do the same thing to the top vent. We're gonna cut basically the whole middle section out on this vent. We don't want to do anything to this side because obviously you're gonna see that. But with this cut out, that sits right above it, so there should still be plenty of airflow there. And then our hard drive, which we're going to figure out what to do. Now, they already have a vent at the top, so we might just leave that instead of doing like a window. And then we'll just kind of cut out the bottom of this sort of cleanly. Same with the metal shield on the inside. And I know there's still a SSD in there, but that should at least allow a pretty good amount of airflow to escape through the whole thing there, especially when these fans are turned up. So, alright, got some stuff cut out here. I was hoping to also cut the top vent, but I broke my last cutoff wheel, so I'm gonna have to get some more. But you can see these 3 spots cut out here. So this one will sit, that hole right here will be that bottom mounting hole. And I'll just have to drill a hole here at the top. I'll probably just do 2 on each fan. That's more than enough. Well, that's the right amount for fans this small. So that one will sit there. This one I need to drill out holes in the corners. You can see how I kind of left it in the corners there. And then this one here, those holes should already line up to mount that one there. So they'll go 3 across right here. And like I said, we'll cut out a little middle part of the top vent because it's kind of just solid right here, just like it is here on the metal frame. So we'll cut out a big hole there. And like I said, this part of it is all vents anyway, and I don't want to cut that because you'll see it. And then I went ahead and also just cut out this section here. Doesn't do a whole lot, but a little less restriction there. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Got that. And this one I made sure, even though when it's in place, there should be enough room underneath to plug that. Well, it'll already be plugged in, obviously, before having to mount this. But yeah, that's where we're at. So next up, we'll start actually taking this apart here. And like I said, I need some more cutoff wheels to do that other stuff. But we'll start marking out the fan. I do have a side panel that's black that already has a hole cut out with a little square cut out underneath it for a temperature display. And I kind of was going back and forth on using that one anyway. And however, the fan is mounted higher up, so I'm still debating exactly where I want that. And that hole in the bottom I can just cut out all the way across, right where the bubble light will shine through. So, alright, so we're taking this apart, and I guess it's a good thing I'm already modifying this shell here. This one is pretty gross. It's just kind of nasty stuff all over. A little worried to see what's going on the inside, but yeah. I forget this one is not from the same seller I got this one and the JTAG from. Those have been pretty clean so far. Actually, really well taken care of. I forgot this one was from, I believe it was also from eBay, but oh boy. At least it has the X-clamps. But yeah, let's keep going and see what's going on. Alright, yeah, definitely pretty gross. Looks like even the motherboard has something spilled in here for sure. So we're definitely going to have to do a lot of cleaning. Obviously I already tested it, it was working fine, so just need to do some cleaning on it. And look at this, got a mod chip on this one. Now I thought this one just had the mod chip, and I said this one didn't, but it does. So both of these have mod chips. Very cool. But yeah, I don't know what this stuff is. But let's go ahead and take the rest of this out and just see how much isopropyl alcohol I'm going to need. Not the worst one I've ever seen, but still pretty gross. Looks like mostly this side's alright. Something must have spilled back here, which sucks, but anyway. Alright, there's already little pieces of what looks like some sort of infestation all over my table here. Definitely some gross stuff going on. See, all wrong here. Like I said, it looked like something was spilled and it kind of runs along the outside. Oh boy. So lots of cleaning to do on this one. We'll go ahead and take these heat sinks off. Clean off thermal paste and everything. As far as the wiring and soldering, everything looks like it was done very neat and nice. But I'm assuming this had to have been modded and then it got spilled and just left somewhere. I don't know. Well, anyway, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I'm going to continue to work. I'm going to clean all this up. Some boring stuff. I got to take apart the ruby red shell and take the back half off for the Vader build. And I got to take the JTAG apart to take the copper heatsink off that one. And I'm also waiting on another copper heatsink so we can put those on there. But in the meantime, I'm going to clean this up and continue to work on this. I got to drill the holes out. And then last thing is, as you saw, this fan has red LEDs. I'm just going to pop those out, trim those off. There's going to be no LEDs, and I'm actually going to reuse those red ones for this tubing lighting kit on the Vader build. But that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. I should point out in the last video, I probably should have cut out the part where I mentioned doing a giveaway of this on that video. It doesn't mean I'm not doing it anymore, but the LEDs have completely stopped working now, so I need to go back inside there. It seemed to work fine until the controller started vibrating from, you know, testing it out, playing a game, and then the LEDs kind of started to flicker or something, so I gotta look into that. If I can't get it to work, I don't really want to give away this controller if it doesn't even work, but anywho, see you in the next video.